Welcome back to Grill Sergeant's Barbecue Spinoff. My name is Andrew Rogan. What makes this show fun is I have no idea what I'm going to cook, what I'm going to cook on, or what seasonings I'm going to use, but a random wheel picker does. Now, what makes this show fun is you guys get to pick the meat. So if you want to see your meat choice in the next episode, make sure in this video in the comment section to leave your meat choice, because when we build the next episode, we're going to be looking at this video's comments. Let's get the wheel up. Now, I will say y'all been getting crazy in the comment section, and I love it. So today's meat choices are bison, Rocky Mountain oysters, beef ribs, rack of lamb, and caveman steak. Let's check it out. Oh, caveman steak. All right. Now, if you're not familiar with what a caveman steak is, it's basically finishing it on really, really hot coals. So, never actually done that one before though, so that's actually good, pretty cool. Now, as far as grills go, we have the Pit Boss Heritage, the Pit Boss Onyx Phoenix, the Pit Boss Pro Series, the Pit Boss 850DX, and the Pit Boss Ultimate Griddle. And the Pit Boss Onyx Phoenix. I'm actually glad that it landed on that because that actually can do both pellet and charcoal. So, oh man, that is awesome. And then lastly, we have our rub selection. So we got the Pit Boss All-Purpose GSP, their Sweet Heat, Maple Chipotle, Prime Beef, and Hot Honey Chipotle Rub. Let's see what we're working with here. Little Sweet Heat. I'm going to go to the store, get what I need to get. Today is actually going to be a fun cook. And if you do want to see your meat choice in the next video, leave a comment in this video. Let's have fun with this, but we'll tune back in a bit. All right, guys, we are back. I have the ingredients here to do a caveman steak. Now, I'm actually really excited because this is something that's always been on my bucket list and I've never done. Now, I will be doing some competition stuff to this steak as well, as far as doing a kind of a quick marinade. You can pretty much skip this step if you want, but I figure I want just that, just the most flavor I can get out of this steak. Let's get our ribeye down here. Now I'm going to take some butcher's twine, and this is going to help make sure it actually kind of keeps its shape, mainly when doing a steak and it gets all tender on you. There's this fat seam right in here, and then this part could start separating. Rare, but it could happen. So this twine ensures that this steak stays in one piece. So just like pulling it tight, just like this. Come around here and we just do it one more time to the other side. Take our knife here. Now, to do the quick tenderizer, you're going to need a can of beef consomme and then about 3 tablespoons of a quick meat tenderizer. And so while we're waiting for the charcoal to heat up, we can start marinating this steak. So first thing I'm going to do here is open up the can of beef consomme. And I would kind of have stuff like in this, so when I would do steak competitions, I already have everything pre-mixed out, everything weighed and whatnot. So come competition day, it just makes everything really, really easy. So before I put the steak in this bag, kind of do like a pre-mix. So just like that. Now, one last thing before I put it in is this is a sausage prick. And what I like doing with that is this almost acts as another step of tenderizing. If you didn't want to do the marinade and say you just wanted to do this, this could help just because it will help get the seasonings in a little bit further in. Let me open this up. Put this just like that. It's going to sound weird, but I do 11 minutes per side. Now, usually since it's 11 minutes per side, which trust me, I hear it all the time, that's so random and weird, I know, but so is doing competition stuff. You see so many strange things. But usually what I'll do is I'll break up the first 11 minutes, and that's when I'll kind of clean and whatnot. So right now I can pretty much start throwing away any trash that I have. And then after I flip it, that is when I'm going to start getting that charcoal lit and whatnot. And while that is then coming up to temp, the marinade will be done. Then we can season it up, let that seasoning kind of work on the steak before we actually get it onto the grill and whatnot. So right now I'm going to clean up, and then we will tune back in when we need to fire up those coals. All right, it's been 11 minutes. Let's give this a little flip. All right, now let's go prep our charcoal. One thing to note about charcoal really quick is there's pretty much two kinds that you're going to use when you're cooking a steak. There's going to be briquettes. There's going to be briquettes, and then there's going to be lump charcoal. You want to make sure if you're going to do a caveman steak to use lump charcoal. Lump charcoal is basically pure charred wood, whereas briquettes have actually binders and additives in them, and that's stuff that could actually off-put more ash and just off flavors into the steak. So you want to make sure that the coals you're going to be using are going to be lump charcoal. So this is what lump charcoal looks like, and bigger the actual lump pieces, the better. It's been another 11 minutes. Let's get this steak out onto the board. And just pat this dry. And you can kind of see why I twined it up. See how much more separation there is? I mean, this steak is definitely kind of holding on for dear life. I may retwine this. Yeah, I probably will. All right, before I tie her back up, we're going to apply some sweet heat. So I'm just going to give this a nice coating of the sweet heat. Give it a flip. It's really hard to over season. Beautiful. All right, so these coals are very much like me, just screaming hot. But what you'll know is at the very top of the charcoal, you'll see what's known as them being ashed over. That is a good tall tale sign that the charcoal in this chimney is ready to go. So I have a heat-proof glove here so I don't burn myself. I'm gonna lift this up, give it a shake. I'm gonna hold back these grates right here. I'm gonna dump the charcoal right into here. So basically I just want this charcoal on one side of the kettle. And now what I'm going to do is kind of just move everything around and whatnot. Beautiful. So now we have a 2-zone setup here. We have these screaming hot coals, which is just, they're insanely hot right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to put our steak apart from the coals and cook it indirectly. And then once it comes about up to temp, we can then put it on directly on the coals and do it caveman style. I'm going to do a quick little brush down right here. Whee! Let's get our steak down right here. Just like that. All right, let's get the lid on. Just like that. And you're going to want to make sure the vents are on this side, so that gives a chance for that heat to kind of just roll around just like that. So what we're going to do is let this reverse sear. Again, it's apart from the coals. That heat is kind of being lifted up and then around. I'm having fun, and we'll tune back in about 20 minutes. All right, let's check on the steak. Ooh, dang, that looks pretty much already done. All right, so what I'm going to do now is let me get this side opened up. We're just going to get this onto the coals because I have a feeling that that looks done already. Here we go, straight onto the coals. Let's go, baby. So I'll give each side, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 seconds. Give it a flip. Nice little char action on there. All right, lift this up. See, look at that. And that's why I tried to tie it, because that thing just wants to fall apart on you. All right, well, we have the steak pulled. I'm going to let it rest for about 5 minutes. I took off the twine, which was not hard to do because it kind of just burnt off just because those coals were screaming hot. We'll tune back in about 5 minutes and then we'll slice in. So you can see here you have the the actual charcoal burn marks on there. But let's see what we got. Definitely juicy though. If you see down here, look at that. There's just tons of juice in here. So let's see how we did. Let's go in for a little taste test here. Wow. Let me, out of curiosity, I want to season one of these up and see how this would be as a finishing dust. Wow. All right, I'm gonna go bring this in, feed the family. Let me know in the comment section what you want to see being put on the wheel. Go crazy with it. This was definitely a fun episode. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to this Pit Boss YouTube channel so you can stay on top of all these cooks. So definitely consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Grill Sergeant out. Woo! Bring it in, feed the family.